All right. Quick little update on the truck. It's been right at 4 days since the transmission went out. I got it out. It's right here, covered up. I've got to get it to the shop. I was gonna rebuild it myself, and my dad informed me that we kind of had some family members owe us one, and he builds race cars and drag cars and stuff of the sort, so I definitely trust him on rebuilding this thing for me. So we're gonna take it down to him today and drop it off. He said he could probably have it done probably by Thursday or Friday, which is only like 2 days from today. Today's Tuesday. The hardest part about this was I didn't have my floor jack that I normally have. So I've normally got a big yellow 3-ton floor jack, and somehow or another it disappeared. So I had to make a trip to good old Harbor Freight, and I picked up the Pittsburgh 3-ton. It was $119 out the door. It wasn't bad. I've got the jack like this just to hide it, really, and to keep people from stealing it. We do have cameras everywhere here, and this is a really good neighborhood, so I'm not too worried about it. I threw the transfer case and everything else in the bed of the truck. I'm gonna clean all this up before it goes back in. The transmission mount, is actually in pretty good shape, so we're gonna clean that up, see what it looks like, stick it back in there if it's good. If not, I'll just go buy another. Another thing that I noticed is when my truck first starts, I can hear the exhaust rattle, and that's where it's been rattling. I took the truck to Mountain Exhaust. It's off of Smoky Park Highway in Asheville, and the guy charged $600 to put a cat and just connect my pipes. Well, I was trusting of him, and at the time I didn't have my welding rig set up, so I trusted him to do a good job, and this is why I do my own work. So from here, he coupled it and ran it into this, then coupled it again and ran it into this aftermarket cat, which has already blowed its guts out. So there's nothing in that cat. That thing's empty. And if you notice right here, that's where it has been rubbing on that cross member. I know it's a mess under here, but that's where it had been rubbing on the cross member right there. So what I'm going to do while all of this is out is I'm going to take and drop that off, and please go ahead and laugh and write all the comments y'all want, because this is good shit, okay? I'm going to stick that in the back of my mom's Prius. So that's our goal today, is to fit this thing in the back of that. Wish me luck, because it's going to be quite funny. The other thing that I was going to show you guys is this is the vacuum system that goes from the top of the transmission, or the top of the transfer case, that right there is a vacuum valve. This is pretty much just kind of like a distribution block for vacuum. So like it comes in and then goes out the other side. And out the other side, it's got that line that then runs to the actuator on the axle. And I've actually changed how that is set up, and if you notice, there's a bolt in the end of that diaphragm right there. So I made a little short a while back explaining to people why I did this. So something inside the line, in this line, is clogged. I've tried blowing it out with air compressor, and something in that is just absolutely clogged. So I literally just took that shit off the truck because it's pointless. So the way that these transfer cases work is when you put it in two-wheel drive, your front output is neutral. So like it's not going to spin anyways. So I kind of bypassed all of the vacuum crap on the axle because I was having an issue of when I needed four-wheel drive, it wouldn't go into four-wheel drive because of that actuator would not move. Well, the actuator itself had water in the diaphragm, and it wasn't functional. So I took it all out, cleaned it the best I could, got it to where it would operate, and I put it back in the truck, and I found a bolt. Like, I measured where the coupler needed to be inside the axle. So once I got that measurement, I found a bolt that would move it over to that adjustment, and from there I just drilled a hole and ran that in, and now my axle stays linked pretty much. So now when I put the truck in four-wheel drive, it goes in four-wheel drive. The other weird thing about this is, I'm sure y'all are wondering, well, you're probably not wondering. You're like, hey, it's a Dodge, you know, this is normal problems. No, it is actually not. This is the original transmission for the truck, and the truck actually only has 172,000 on it, which isn't bad. Excuse all my tools. She is a work truck. But this actually occurred because now these lines look real corroded. That's lack of maintenance on my part. But pretty much what happened is, inside the radiator there is a intercooler inside of the radiator. It's actually in the lower half of the radiator right here, so it takes up a small portion of the lower half of the radiator, and what that does is it keeps the transmission fluid cool as it comes in there and then goes out back to the transmission there. So what happened is, apparently the intercooler busted inside the radiator, and that allowed water to get into the transmission lines, and in doing so it fried the transmission. So this fluid right here had actually been changed not too long ago, believe it or not. And it's just it's burnt, like it's bad burnt. Here, let me find something. I'm not sticking my hands in that right now, but it's very, very runny. Like, there's no viscosity left to this. And I know what you're thinking. If there's water in the fluid, then where's the water at? Well, because I separated it. Okay. So the reason that I did what I did, I separated the water from the oil, and I kept this part of it. Like, I know there's trash in it and stuff, but the reason I did this, I know I throw stuff on the concrete all the time, don't worry. The reason I saved my fluid is I'm gonna rebottle it. Oh, I had to take the oil filter off in order to get to one of the bolts on the transmission, so I'm gonna change the oil while I'm at it too. But that transmission fluid right there is gonna be sent to the shop with the transmission, and I've already taken the pan off, and of course the magnet looks like a fuzzy donut, of course. Hey, look, there's my squirrel buddy. What's up, guy? I'll get you some crackers in a minute. But essentially what happened was water got into the system, and once that happened, the transmission pretty much started slipping, it didn't want to go in gear, and it happened pretty fast. That morning on the way to work, everything seemed to be pretty good. I don't know what occurred between that morning and the afternoon, but that afternoon I went to get on the interstate and I started giving it a little throttle to pick up, and all of a sudden it just slipped and it was like nothing was there. Luckily I didn't destroy it, we'll say. I ended up getting off on the very next exit and pretty much limped the truck home. In order to get up this hill over here, it doesn't look very steep in a video, like a video does not do this justice, but this is a pretty steep little hill to come up through here. So I actually had to put the truck in four-wheel drive low, just to change the gear ratio so that way it'd make it up here. Got it in the driveway, and then that afternoon I started taking it out. So pretty much, you know, I did all this by myself. I just used a big ratchet strap, and I went over the top of the frame rail and then over the top of the other frame rail. Now I've got all this tucked up right now, so it's just not on the ground, but when I go to put it back in, I'll take this cart that everything's sitting on and I'll roll it back under there, and I'll put this strap under the tail shaft of the transmission, and I'll run another strap on the front, and I'll pretty much from right here on the side, I will pull those straps evenly and get it up high enough to where I can get a jack underneath it, and from there I'll jack it up and put it back in there. Now as far as the transfer case goes, I ended up just crawling under the truck and pretty much bear hugged this thing out. These aren't too heavy. I'd say they weigh like, I don't know, maybe 80 pounds, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just used to picking up really heavy shit, I don't know. But it doesn't weigh that much to me. So really, when I go to put this back in the truck, I'm probably just gonna lay it on my chest, roll under the truck, and then just pick it up and stuff it in there, have a bolt or something in my pocket and just get one started and go from there. But the old Dodge will be back on the road soon. Part of the reason why I did not record any of this for you guys is because it's already hard enough doing this by myself. So trying to film everything and get this done and do it in a timely manner to where I can get my truck back to work, it's just kind of hard. So today I'm actually off work, and we're gonna take the trans, drop it off today, and more than likely I'm just gonna pick up a case of brake clean, like 12 cans of it. I'm gonna clean that up pretty good, try and clean up some stuff under here, probably sweep up some of my cat litter, put some more down, and just try and clean the area up some so it's a little cleaner when I go to put everything back in. But if y'all are wondering, you know, like what does this guy actually do? Well, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. I grew up poor as shit, and it was basically figure it out or just die. So all of my mechanical knowledge, it pretty much derives from, you know, me figuring things out. This is definitely not my first transmission. I've actually replaced like 4 transmissions in that particular spot where the Ranger is sitting. So normally when we bring things to work on here, I would normally, you know, try and pull it into the garage, but I can't do that currently because that's currently my house. Unfortunately, we sold our property in Canton and ended up moving back over here just because it makes it easier for me and my family, and my grandmother's getting up in age and someone kind of needs to be here to keep an eye on her. So my girlfriend, you know, she's taking on the role of that. My mom also lives here. She's not here right now. She's actually in my grandmother's car at work. So she left me her car because it's lower to the ground and easier for me to access the back of it. So that's how we're going to get that to the shop today. But pretty much I just wanted to throw out there, you know, I'm trying to make more videos for you guys. This is something that I've been interested in for a while. I've been told I make pretty good videos. I feel like I'm just a dork doing stuff, but it's whatever, man. I'm just a southern dude living a southern life, man. We do things on our own. We figure it out. That's just kind of how it is. So, you know, I'm gonna do my best to maybe set the camera here on a tripod or something so you guys can witness how I put this back in the truck. And you're probably wondering, well, how in the hell did you get it out? Because, you know, the transmission's taller than the truck. Well, I ended up jacking the truck up and pulled the transmission out. So when I go to put it back in, I'll just jack the front of the truck up, get the transmission under the truck where it needs to kind of be sitting, and then let it back down on the jack stands where it is. And that way, you know, it's not like I'm reaching really high to get into the truck, but it's, you know, high enough to where I can work, but low enough to where it's not killing me to work on it. You know, and a suggestion, so, you know, a suggestion on taking these things out is this wheel here is on the ground, just so, you know, it doesn't move. This wheel here is actually off of the ground. Off of the ground just by a little bit. So, and the reason that I did that is so I can spin this, and I was able to get to the bolts on the transfer case from the drive shaft and the bolts on the axle. So that's why I did that. And as far as the rear goes, it was pretty easy to get it out where it's at. If you can see how that yoke looks right there, it was pretty easy because they were all easy to get to. So I guess our goal now is, it's almost 10 in the morning. I'm gonna have to hustle and pick this big thing up and stick it in the back of a little bitty Prius and get it down to the shop. And I will try and get you guys an update before the end of the day. Just to let you guys know what progression is being made. And when I get a call from Keith, which is my cousin, he'll probably call me this afternoon when he tears it down, and he'll let me know what and all I destroyed in it. There were some clutch plate pieces in the pan, and definitely a lot of fuzz on the magnet. So more than likely it's going to need a full rebuild. But you know, you just kind of have to take it with a grain of salt and hope like hell that, you know, when I put this back in there, it lasts me another 173,000 whatever miles. So that's pretty much gonna be it for today. I'm gonna get this thing sent to the shop, go in here and get ready for some stuff. And maybe if I've got time today, I've already got the heads off of this truck. It needs a cam. So what happened with this truck is it's got 380,000 miles on it. It's been a damn good truck. Was getting off the interstate in it, and somehow or another the camshaft snapped. So there's that. So I need to get that thing running. Need to get rid of that set of wheels and tires. I got a lot of stuff I need to just get rid of. But anyways, that's a quick little update for you guys. I guess I will try to make a build list of everything that I need to put this in. There's a few things that I'm gonna have to have. Transmission fluid's gonna be one of them. I don't know, there's some other stuff I'm gonna need. I can't think right now. I ain't drank all my coffee yet. But there it is. I hope you guys come back to see more and let me know what you guys think about this project. All right, y'all have a good one.